everybody. Welcome to Church History for Chumps. My name is Jim Salmon, and I'm here with my good friend, Mr. Taylor Treadway.
Why didn't I get a fake name?
I mean, I don't know. I like Jim Salmon. That's a cool name. How about Terry Turpentine?
Dude, that's my author name.
That's good. Yeah, your little pseudonym for when you start dropping scholastic,
Terry
books in the future.
Turpentine. Dude, I was thinking about this the other day because I do think about the podcast a lot.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, wait, how would you do a Spanish opening? Would it be, hola, todos los personas. Y
Brother, we
bienvenido a Church History para Chumps.
Dude, we literally did a Spanish opening one time. It was on one of our episodes that, oh shoot, what was it? Was it have to do with South American colonialism or something? But we did.
I don't even remember what yesterday was about.
Gosh, I literally, because I remember I called it Historia Iglesia para idiotas, and then you gave me flack because you were like, you can't say idiota, that's a really bad word, and I'm like, it just means idiot, bro. It probably is a more bad word, but
it is.
Oh, because I think I meant to say imbeciles.
Imbeciles.
All good, bro. No one speaks Spanish. If you speak Spanish, leave us a comment in the comments section,
right,
bro. Leave us a comment. Yeah.
What are you up to these days?
Oh man, I mean, hey, we got the whole week.
I said it's been a whole week since we last talked, so
it has. So much has changed. Oh, dude, we just got back from this really, really good Mexican restaurant. I'm gonna upset myself by asking this question. Do you actually miss Arizona Mexican food, or are you like, it's actually much better because I live by the ocean and now I'm a better person?
Haven't I told you this?
I don't remember.
No, it's much harder to find good Mexican food out here. Much harder.
That feels good. That feels good to know.
There's a lot of like kind of spots that are just not good, and you kind of have to ask yourself like how, because in Tucson you don't make it.
Like exactly, they just die. Yeah, the community will just starve you. It's like a siege.
Like Nico's is considered bottom tier.
And there's 8 on every corner.
Yeah, and they're like, I would be very happy if we had a Nico's. But we're blessed. We have a really good spot right down the road, so.
Okay.
But I can't, dude. I thought we were watching what we were eating.
Dude, I was about to bring that up. So, I am starting a kettlebell training program. It's right here in my house. I'm going to try to do it with my wife, really just for moral support. I found it on YouTube. It's like 15, 20-minute exercises a few times a week, trying to get my steps up. You guys can hold me to it. You guys be like, hey, Jones, how's the kettlebell thing going? And I'll be like, really good.
Okay, well, what did you eat at the Mexican restaurant?
Why are we talking about that?
How many baskets of chips did you rip through? And then you're like, well, Annie's actually eating them with me. So
there were 2 baskets of chips, and there were 5 of us because we were celebrating my sister-in-law's birthday and a belated Mother's Day.
Oh,
and there were no renewed bags of chips. I did, however, get short ribs with quesadillas, and it was delicious.
Oh my god,
it was delicious.
I'm sure it was.
But also, dude, I had a smoothie bowl for lunch today, and I had like a bowl of grape nuts for breakfast.
All right. Sounds like you're
I'm doing all right.
Roughly within your calorie limit.
I'm trying. What about you? How's the gout? Is the gout out or is the gout in?
Gout is out.
Gout is out.
I haven't seen him in a long time.
That's good. How's your tummy? How's your chest pains?
Gone.
All right.
Evaporated.
Okay.
I will say the eating though has been really good. It's just, dude, like being hungry. Like I went to bed hungry last night, and I was like, this is what the peasants that we research felt.
That's right. You're like this.
I'm method historianing.
Wow. Yeah, dude, you're like the Daniel Day-Lewis of church history, bro.
I think so.
You're like
about
really
ready to
living it.
Move into a field with a couple pieces of plywood.
Yeah, a couple pieces of like just some stale bread that you eat, maybe some.
I'm not homeless. I'm a historian.
That's good. What are you doing the I feel like you're doing, like, the Whole30
I'm
thing,
not doing
right?
anything. I'm doing calorie counting.
Okay, okay. But didn't
Like
you say you were gonna, like, stop eating bread and stop eating, like, sweets and other
yeah, but
stuff?
then I decided that's actually it's still possible to do that within moderation. So, like, for
So
Brandy and
now
I's
you're just no restriction, but calories are
restrict,
restricted.
yes.
Okay,
'Cause
okay.
I like, it's fine to do, like, a little challenge for 2 weeks of, like, no bread or whatever, but, like, Brandy
Yeah.
and I went to Cheesecake Factory for our anniversary, and we shared a
Mm.
piece of cheesecake. Oh, something in my throat. We shared a piece of cheesecake. But I
That
actually
was the
only had
smoker's voice coming
I
out.
had, like, 4 or 5 bites, and then she just ate the
Yeah.
rest. So,
Nice.
it was good.
Alright.
I mean, and I did the math. I was like,
I just imagine you taking these, like, ice cream scooper-sized
I know,
bites.
that's right. Yeah, it's like
"Alright, baby, you can have the rest."
I know, it's like a whole piece of cheesecake could technically fit in 5 giant bites.
What do you
No,
feel
it's
is,
just a way
like,
to do it.
what's the killer for you? Like, is it sweets? Is it drinking your calories? Like, where do you fall short?
Mm,
What's your Achilles heel?
oh, it's just bread. Here's a little example today. So we had a little church barbecue,
'Kay.
and I ate about 1,300 calories at that,
Mhm.
and then I was hungry, like, super hungry, like, 6 hours later, like, hunger
Mhm.
pains hungry, and
Ooh.
I realized, I was like, I did that bread did nothing for me on the hamburger buns
Hmm.
and the hot dog
Okay.
bun.
Like, it didn't fill you up at all.
No, obviously, I was, like, super hungry later, so,
Okay. Yeah, that makes
like,
sense.
I coulda probably just ate, you know, 700 calories in not bread at that and
Mm.
then had enough calories to have a dinner.
Yeah.
So, that's kinda the kicker, man, is that for everybody, every big boy out there that's wanting to lose weight, if you just look at the calorie count on bread, it's, like, not worth it.
That's probably it. That's probably it. I know that for me, it's like I think it's like everything I do up until 6 p.m. is the life of a healthy, like, marathon runner. Like, I'll have, like, a piece of fruit for breakfast with my
Wow.
coffee. I'll usually not eat lunch until, like, 12 or 1. My lunches are, like, uh, very like a small sandwich with, like, some grainy, low-cal bread and, like, some turkey.
Wow.
I have, like, dried edamame, more fruit, yogurt. I have, like, a sugar-free pudding. Like, I'm living like a healthy person,
Yep.
and then I get home, and then it's demolition
And
time.
then
Like,
then, you eat whatever Annie makes for dinner,
yeah,
and
I
then
just and the it's
like,
I portions.
the frosted flakes in the cabinet, "John!
Yes, they're just
John!" Just
calling my name. Dude, I could crush a box of Frosted Flakes without
yeah, wanna
blinking.
know what the trick is? You don't buy it.
I know, I know, that's why I don't. All I have is grape nuts. And
You
you know
know,
why I have grape nuts? Because one time
'cause they're
John Piper
nasty.
wrote an analogy about or wrote an article about grape nuts, how it's one of the simple divine pleasures of life, and I was like, "You know what? I wanna be like John Piper."
You
They're
think
not
he
too bad.
you think he sits there and eats grape nuts with, like, a little bit of sugar, or does he just, like, go for it?
I drizzle a little honey on it, and it tastes much better.
Mm,
Maybe too much honey,
yeah, there you
honestly,
go.
yeah. But, yeah.
Yeah, well, I say to all the big boys out there, we can do it. This is our summer.
That's right. This is the podcast you listen to at the gym. Get you hyped, get you
Mhm,
pumped, you know?
mhm.
Maybe go for a walk while you're listening. Don't sit down. I wouldn't be sitting if I could walk right now, I would, but I'm doing a podcast, so I can't do that.
I
Imagine
think
if I was on the treadmill right now. It's yeah.
you you're, like, at Planet Fitness while the "Oh, hey,
There's just like a
Steve."
low bass line in the background from the speakers.
Ooh, yeah. Uh-huh.
Oh, man.
Yeah,
Alright.
well, we could do it, but yes, thank you to everybody who showed some support for that. If you're a big boy and this is big boy summer, let us know. Let us know. We'll start a little support group. So,
Absolutely.
but
Yes.
we're breaking from the Crusades, aren't we?
We are. Well, real quick. I want to say thank you to all of our commenters as always. Thank you guys to all of us, all the guys who follow us. So we told you guys a long time ago that if we got 1,000 followers on Spotify, we would do like a Discord hangout, which then we never did because
Well,
deep
we
down,
need
I guess
to.
we're liars and
Yeah,
we need to. And
we need
we
to.
have summer ahead of us. I don't have any more time than normal, but you do. And I think that would be a lot of fun. So let's plan it something. We'll figure something out. Also, I'd like to get over 100 reviews on Spotify. Right now we're at like 80 something. I think we can get
Don't
over
dangle another
100.
carrot when we never gave them the first carrot.
Oh gosh, you're right. This is like bad parenting. It's like you have to keep to your word. But
Yeah.
I'm just like, do more for us. I want more. That's fair. Okay, don't do anything until we follow through on our promises. Discord party actually sounds like a lot of fun. There's a lot of people I think would be a lot of fun to have some chit chat with. But thank you as always to, all of our good friends. Thank you to LM, to Jackson, to Lucas, to Stripe, to LM again, to Anthony, to Mr. Van Camp, who I think you know personally, right, Taylor?
Pastor Trey
Pastor Trey.
If I say Phoenix, he's going to be really annoyed. But as you know, John, Phoenix is actually only one tiny little spot, and there's like 800 suburb cities all around it. And I cannot keep track of them. So for all the Phoenicians and Pastor Trey, I'm sorry.
Wait, Pastor Trey's in Phoenix?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Oh, that's the last shout out he gets.
Oh, wow.
Tucson, baby.
Dude, you don't have people from Tucson. You don't have people from Tucson being like, "Oh, actually, I'm actually from Buena." Actually, I'm from Old Valley.
No, people who are from Tucson want to be from Tucson, but people who are from Phoenix want to be from Gilbert.
Yeah.
But anyways, thanks for listening, Phoenix. Yeah, people from Scottsdale do not want to be from Phoenix.
Do you blame them?
Yeah, I do. Mm-mm. You know what? We know what we call it down here? Snobsdale.
Anyway, it's 12 minutes. We need to start.
This is too long. Hey, welcome to all the listeners who skipped right ahead. We're going to get right into our content.
You made a wise decision this time.
All right, Taylor, you're flying the plane today. What do we got?
I am, and I want to.
We're taking a break from the Crusades.
Ish. This is Crusade-ish related. I want to thank you for doing back-to-back episodes last time. You single-handedly got me through finals.
Anything for you.
So excellent. Okay. Well, as you can tell from the episode title today, we're discussing relics.
Okay.
Now, what comes to your mind when you hear the term relic?
I think the Holy Grail is like the first one.
Okay.
Shroud of Turin.
Okay.
We have like the Holy Lance, which we've already talked about. The pieces of the cross. Oh, the Ark of the Covenant. Okay. Really a lot of stuff covered by Indiana Jones, which is interesting. Didn't know those were Christian movies.
Prepare for a little nostalgia bomb. I get reminded of when I was playing Age of Empires as a kid, and you would have your monks, like there'd be these relics, quote unquote, scattered throughout the map, and you could pick them up with a monk, and the monk could carry them back, and they would you put them in a monastery, and then they would generate gold.
Oh, that's kind of cool. Mm-hmm, yeah, and surprisingly realistic.
Yeah. I mean, as a kid, I had no idea what they were, what they meant. I just had figured out gotta send my monk to go get them.
Well, let me ask you, have you ever seen a relic in person?
Define relic.
What the Catholic Church would identify as a relic?
No.
Really? Okay.
Mm-hmm. But that actually kind of leads into my next kind of question, which is you have the relics still floating around that you had mentioned, and there's thousands of them.
Sure.
Everything from Saint Ambrose, isn't he stuck standing in his church until Jesus comes back? And they're and they change his outfit out, and it's just this skeleton. It really? Yeah, I think you were the one that told me about this.
That might be true. Did they preserved him standing up vertically?
I think so. And they change out his robes for different. Mm-hmm. Yeah. But so, like, if you think about what a relic truly is, you got to think. So there's religious relics, and they kind of do this. They connect people to a revered person or an event. They embody like a physical embodiment of like memory and identity. They create a sense of proximity to
Mhm.
greatness. They inspire reverence, pilgrimage, kind of an emotional response, and
Right.
they serve as like a symbol for communal belonging, right?
Okay. Yeah.
So, I want us to think about what a modern relic would look like. So, I want you
Like
to
okay. Okay.
imagine that I gave you the handwritten journal page containing like the original lyrics to I Can Only Imagine.
That's pretty that's pretty good.
But, like, think about it,
Um,
you would be like, "Wow, this is actually kinda cool."
yeah, it's weirdly like it would feel like it should belong in like a museum in Nashville for Christian contemporary music.
Right,
Like that,
right.
it feels relevant. Like I like if you told me that you had it and then you just threw it away, I'd be like, "Whoa, dude, what are you
You'd be like,
doing?"
"What
Like it
is
would
wrong with
feel
you?"
weird.
Or
Yes.
imagine this, imagine if I did wanna keep it,
Mhm.
but you found out that I had it, like, folded up in a shoebox in a closet.
Right. Yeah.
You'd be like, "At least frame it." Like,
Yeah,
what are
do
you
something with it. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
got some historical significance to it. Or
Mhm.
like, you've spoken about like the old school missionaries from a couple hundred years ago. Wasn't like David Brainerd's journal like a really important kind of relic, I guess you could say?
Well, I mean, it would've been a yeah, I mean, well, now you're getting into, like, what's a historical research tool piece
Oh,
and,
that's
like,
fair. That's
what's
fair.
but
Yeah.
imagine this one.
Okay.
What if I handed you in a garbage bag? I was like, and you pull it out, it's like an old suit, and I'm like, "Yeah, that's Billy Graham's suit from his first crusade."
That's where it feels weird. Like I think
You don't
the
think that would also belong in a museum?
Yeah, but I think you've perfectly described the tension of like Catholicism and Protestantism. Because I think even I have this sense of like, it's just a suit. Like, who cares? It's quirky. And like, yeah, you could put it in a
Mhm.
museum, but I'm also like, I don't wanna. Because then you're like, oh, it's got this mystical allure to it, which is where we would probably criticize because people tends to believe that relics
Yes.
actually have
But
supernatural power.
I think deep down, like, if you were to go throw that suit away, you'd feel weird about it.
I think I'd feel weird because I know that there are probably a lot of people who would think it's really cool.
Yeah.
And for that reason, I'd probably want to give it to a museum or
See?
something.
There you go.
Yeah. No, you're right. You're right.
So
Yeah.
there are though now so we've kind of now let's with modern relics, but think about secular relics.
Oh, they're all over the
Yeah.
place, right? It'd be like Dorothy's shoes from The Wizard of Oz.
Yes. The jersey Tom
Um
Brady wore during his first Super Bowl win.
Easy.
So there's
Yeah.
like tiers of relics too, right?
Mhm.
Because and it kind of depends on the nature of what happened for the relic to exist.
Right.
So think of it like this. If I was in the parking lot, pretend you and I were in the parking lot after, you know, Kobe's last game and
Mhm.
he signed like a napkin for it. Like we didn't know we were going to see him.
Sure.
And he
Yeah.
came and just like signed a napkin for
He's
us.
like, "You guys Taylor and John from Church History for
Yes,
Dummies?"
right. We're like, "Yeah, hey, what are you still doing here, man?" And
Yeah.
he's like, "Well, just wandering around, blah blah." And then he like signs a napkin for us.
Yeah.
Uh I don't that napkin is going to have some value,
Mhm.
but like it's going to quickly diminish, I think. As
Why
opposed
is that?
because who cares that John and Taylor got a napkin on from his last game? Like that's cool for a
Right.
little bit, but like the jersey that he wore during the last game signed,
Mhm.
that's actually a display piece.
'Cause it was there. It was part of the story.
Yes. John and Taylor
Mhm.
just chilling in the parking lot after the game that Kobe happened to walk by.
Right. That's a cool story for our kids. That's not
Yes.
something we can give to a museum. They would not accept that.
Right. And so you kind
Yeah.
of think I like how you brought up museums first. Museums are this sort of place where secular relics
Mhm.
exist. And they
Yeah.
do all the things above that I had said, you know, the connection and the embodiment of memory, creating this proximity to greatness.
Mhm.
So, like, in a way, we still use relics today, just not in the same sense that people did in the past.
Yes.
Yeah. And so, as I said, like, we're taking a break from the Crusades, direct story, but this episode is very much a tie in to it because the relics were all over the Crusades.
Yeah.
That's actually how a lot of relics were no longer in the Holy Land
Mhm.
because
That
the
makes yeah,
Crusaders
because a
were
lot of them
like,
were taken.
yes.
And the medieval church was just big on relics. Like, that was just I think it was probably more it was more deep into their DNA as, like, a culture of Christianity, I feel like.
Yes, it was. So there's kind of a I actually have a little list of why I think we aren't as big on relics. So, like, relics meant something to them, right? And so
Mhm.
before we were actually gonna talk about this anyway, so good job giving me that layup. And then
Happy
before
to
we
help.
tell, like, these fun stories about relics, I do want us to try to put ourselves in the mindset of those medieval Christians, because
Mhm.
we've been so far removed from this idea of religious relics, at least most of us in a Protestant sense, that
Sure.
I think it's hard for us to understand. We've poked fun at it. Because it is honestly funny to think about the Battle of Antioch when they're like, "Oh my gosh, we're about to get slammed out there. What the people need a relic." Like, I found a rusty piece of scrap metal. That's the spear of
That's the
destiny.
spear. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's right.
yeah. And so, I didn't find a smart people quote about
Mhm.
why relics have kind of fallen out of fashion for us, but I did sit there and think for like 45 seconds.
Now, do
So
you
you
mean
got that.
relics as a modern person or as a Protestant?
Uh, yeah, no, Western Protestantism.
Okay. Alright, that's fair. That's fair.
Because so you have well, number 1, you have iconoclasm and the kind of the history around that. So, like,
Fair.
we come from that.
Mhm.
So, there are many Protestant churches today that are, like, weird about pictures of Jesus.
Oh, they're like they consider it a violation of the second commandment,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, and so, like, Baptists don't have an official stance on that. Well, at least, like, Southern Baptist. I think Reformed Baptists are very
They
much
do.
yeah,
Yeah.
they're not fans of it. But even Southern Baptists are like, "Well, we're okay with pictures of Jesus, but don't push it."
Right.
You know?
Like, they wouldn't have a problem with, like, watching The Chosen, but
Right.
they would feel weird if there were images of Jesus in a church setting.
Yeah, like, Biola University has a giant mural of, like, white Jesus. It's kind of
Mhm.
like a big deal. It's like a big piece of their campus. And I remember
Yeah.
the first time I saw it, something in my little Southern Baptist heart was like, "Why don't I like that?" Like,
Something bothers me
yeah, and I
about
couldn't
that.
yeah, I wasn't sure.
Right, right.
So you have the history of iconoclasm, and then you kinda have, for number 2, I put this post-enlightenment empiricism.
Big time, big
So this,
time.
like, if I can't touch it or see it, it does not matter, and don't
Mhm.
even talk about miracles associated with this object.
It's like we wanna apply the scientific method to everything. So if
Yes.
someone says, "Well, this was the skull of Augustine," it's like, "Prove it." Like,
Yes,
that's
right.
the first response we have.
Yeah.
Whereas, I mean, again, and I think, like, I'm sure you're gonna get here, but that's the thing about medieval Christianity that we need to really understand is they do not have that filter that they're
They
processing
don't even
their
have
thoughts through.
no, they don't have access to data or anything like that.
I mean, there's still a scientific mind, but it's certainly not what we're gonna see in the Enlightenment and what we're gonna inherit after that.
Right. Yeah, they don't
Yeah.
care. So, number 3 is religious skepticism.
Yeah.
So kind of
Yeah.
this, like, cultural, anything religious, people are just inherently like, "I don't know about that."
That's fair. Yeah.
Mhm. And then number 4 is just this general kind of secularization of society.
Mhm.
So I do think if we were, if our culture was super evangelical, like, I do think that there would probably be some people that thought Billy Graham's suit was
Right.
like, "I touched it and I got healed." You know?
Yeah, no, those are solid points. I think all of those check the boxes pretty well, and I think even those are not, like, invulnerable to scrutiny. Like, I still find myself thinking, like, "Alright, is post-enlightenment the best way to view something?" Knowing that probably 1,000, 1,500 years worth of historians didn't think that same way. So I wanna apply that, but also I wanna have, like, a little bit of a grain of salt with that too. Um,
I
I
it's
also feel like we're gonna be a little different about how we process this stuff because I've seen some relics in person, and I definitely have, like, a gut feeling of this is maybe malarkey, but I'm also like, or maybe not. This might actually be something meaningful. I don't know.
I'm so far removed from being able to do that, that, like, I this was actually a fun episode for me to research because I just,
Mhm.
like, do not care. Like,
Sure.
I do not care about relics.
Mhm.
It just does nothing for me, and I think it's because that list, right? I'm so kind of engulfed in those things that we had mentioned
Mhm.
previously that I get to this point where it's hard for me to understand fully how someone with a functioning brain and problem solving skills could not ask the question when they're like, "I found the spear of destiny." How someone's
Mhm.
not like, "What?" You know? Like,
Yeah, but again, like this is where like the low churchiness of being a Baptist really stands out too, because like the relics seem to be this idea that there can be something intrinsically spiritual and significant about a physical object. Like it's the reason why like the Orthodox will kiss the icons. It's the reason why Catholics will like touch the hem of the priest. Like, and it's the reason why I think relics exist. But I think like in a low church world where baptism is non-salvific, where communion is just a remembrance and has no real deep meaning that even like Reformed Anglican Lutherans would agree with. Like it's just you're on the far end of like there's no way this means anything. I think
yeah,
that's
but,
just
like,
that's just the ground you live in.
I'm more okay with images because of what the images represent.
Mhm.
I'm not okay with bad archaeological spoofs that no one actually cares if it's true or not,
Mhm.
you know? So anyway, I have a we're doing this is the post episode
Oh, we're
discussion.
getting we're jumping the gun, I
You
see.
jumping
Okay. All
the
right, no
gun.
worries, no
I have a
worries.
so here's Charles Freeman. He wrote this in Holy Bones, Holy Dust, 2011 Yale University Press, which is basically brand spanking new compared to some of the stuff that we read.
That's awesome. Yeah.
Yeah. This is only 15 years old. This book can't even drive. So, in the Middle Ages, an age when the Bible stories were not even available in vernacular languages, there was ample scope for the imaginative use of the bodies, whole or fragmented. Whew. Every time I read, I want to yawn. It's the worst habit in the world of holy men and women to inject vitality into everyday spiritual life. Unless one gets within this mentality, one in which a variety of spiritual forces, some favored by the church, others by local communities, others by local magnates or royalty, work together sometimes in consensus and sometimes in opposition. Medieval religion does not make much sense if you
Hmm.
don't think about that. It
Sure.
was in effect, a polytheism that endured long after the traditional pagan gods of the Mediterranean had been expelled.
Mhm.
It is centered on an extraordinary variety of objects that were treated as sacred.
Okay.
Kind of like
So
what
he's
you were
taking
saying.
this is like a syncretistic thing. Like this was paganism re-entering the Christian canon.
That's what he's saying. Yeah.
Right. That's what I'm saying. Yeah. What I'm
Yeah.
saying is what he's saying, not what you're
Right.
saying.
So
Yeah.
I'm saying what
Okay.
you're saying, what he's saying.
I'm tracking. I'm
Yeah.
tracking with you.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
I tend to agree with him because I think actually I've said that. I've said something similar to that. Not as
I tend to
smart.
agree because he reminds me very much of something that I would have said.
He reminds me of me. Of course I know him. He's me.
Big fan. That's right.
Anyway, so
that was by Terry Turpentine. That was the author of that.
Charles Freeman.
Okay.
Okay, so I had a few ways to tackle this episode, and I landed on we're going to do a speed run of a handful of relics because I know that if I focused on one relic, we would never move on.
Sure.
I'd
Okay.
be
I'll
like,
speed run. Let's do it.
yeah.
Speed dating. Hey, speed dating. Get it? Kind of double meaning.
Oh, yeah. Hey, so I have 5. I have 5 relics for us, okay?
Okay. All right.
They're all gosh, the yawning, man. I took a nap.
You gotta chill. You gotta chill.
I took a nap. I've had
do some jumping
caffeine.
jacks. Pinch yourself. I don't know what you gotta do.
I can't. I'm not.
And for all of our online viewers, I'm gonna put images of each of these relics so that you guys can follow along.
Wow, on the YouTube
while you're walking on the treadmill.
Wow. All right. So the first relic is the Cross of Christ.
The Cross of Christ.
Yes.
Okay.
So Erasmus famously said in his The Religious Pilgrimage, 1526, he said, "And they tell us the same stories about our Lord's cross that is shown up and down, both publicly and privately in so many places, that if all the fragments were gathered together, they would seem to be sufficient loading for a good large ship." He's saying that there are so many.
Oh, I see. There's so many fake pieces that you could make something gigantic.
You could build a ship.
That's good.
Yeah,
okay, that's really.
And then
good.
he says, "And yet our Lord Himself carried the whole cross upon His shoulders."
There'd be something poetic if it turns out the cross that Jesus was crucified was actually just the pieces of Noah's Ark.
Dude, you have no idea what you actually just tapped into. You have no clue. You have no idea what's coming.
Someone's going to hear this in 100 years and be like,
No. That crazy of story is one of the legends associated with the wood of the cross.
And is this called the true cross, just to get my terminology right?
There's the cross of Christ, the true cross. If you're trying to follow along in Wikipedia, yes, the article is the true cross.
Not sure why you're outing me like that. Okay. I'm just trying to get my images right so I can help our online viewers.
True cross. So look, there's a ton of legends associated with this one. So there's actually a feast day called the Feast of the Cross, which celebrates the main legend that essentially Helena, Constantine's mother, travels to the Holy Land and she discovers 3 crosses. One of the crosses has a plaque, and I don't remember what the plaque says, something Jesus, like his name. But they're like skeptical. They're like, well, we don't know if these are the 3 crosses that were used. And so this is late 320s. They do a little experiment where they decide to take the 3 crosses to a dying man and say, touch all 3 of these. And he touches the first cross, and they're like, "Are you still dying?" And he's like, "Yep." And then they're like, "Okay, try number 2." And then he touches the second cross, and they're like, "Are you still dying?" And he says, "Yep." And then they get to the 3rd cross, and what do you think happens, John?
He gets healed.
He touches it and is healed, and they say, "Well, by Jove, this is the cross."
And that was the origin of Goldilocks and the 3 crosses.
Yeah.
Wow.
Dude.
One was just right.
Yeah. It's funny you say Goldilocks because the next one is Jacobus de Voragine. Did I pronounce that right?
Probably not.
Well, it's like Jacobus de Voragine.
I don't think it's a soft G. It's probably Varangini or something.
Varangini, ew.
Look, I'm not Italian. I don't know.
I don't know. So this guy wrote the the golden legend in like the mid 13th century. And
Mhm.
this is where it gets absolutely bonkers. So you were
Okay.
like, oh, well, the cross was made out of the wood from Noah's Ark. That's not exactly what he says, but he says the cross is made out of the wood from the tree of good, of the knowledge of good and evil.
Oh, that's way better. Oh, man. Dude, I'm a believer. I'm a believer of this guy. Well
Okay.
done.
So I know you're memeing a little bit, but I think it's really important to point out that your reaction,
Mhm.
if you did not have a strong epistemology,
Right.
your reaction is actually what people were like, "Oh yeah, that's so cool. That sounds right."
I mean, people love a good story.
Dude, the
Like, that's
legend
the thing.
the
Yeah.
legend literally involves like the Queen of Sheba and like that she built, or like so a bridge was built out of this wood that
Yeah.
grew, and like when she was walking on the bridge, she felt something in her spirit and was like, "No, this bridge is holy." So she tells Solomon, and then Solomon takes it, like deconstructs the bridge to get to the good wood, and then
Oh
like
my gosh, I wanna watch this movie.
puts the wood in a pillar in the temple. It's something I couldn't track it all because, like I said, I didn't. This is speed running time,
I
but
love it, though.
basically, it's Christian esotericism. Stop it.
It's Christian fan fiction is what it is, and
Yes,
honestly, I
you're
it's
here
not
for it.
Mormonism, I'm kinda here for it. I don't
Yeah.
here's the thing, you know what I am, man? I'm not a truth guy, I'm a whimsy guy,
Where do
and that
whimsy at?
sounds like a 11 out of 10
Super
whimsy.
whimsy.
Also, I am a
Yeah.
truth guy before anyone thinks I wasn't, so,
Right.
yeah. I love it.
This is my
I'm a big fan.
historian partner, everyone. I don't care about truth. I care about vibes. Look, okay, so you can visit the pieces that Helena collected in Rome at the Basilica di Santa Croce in
Okay.
Jerusalem. So it's called in English the Basilica of the the Holy Cross in Jerusalem in Rome.
So
So
it's called okay, so it's not actually in Jerusalem.
no, but in the title it says in Jerusalem.
Gotcha,
Yeah.
okay.
Oh, I was very confused too for a second. It's
Alright, I
like,
hear you. I hear you.
so anyway,
Oh,
you
I
can go
think I
visit
found one.
that. They have the plaque supposedly that they
Mhm.
found in the cross, and like they claim this is the piece of wood that Helena found.
Okay. Alright, and that's the one that healed the dying guy,
Supposedly, yes.
supposedly.
Yes.
Shout out to that dying guy.
So if you're in Rome, you can go visit that. And while you're also in Rome, you can visit our second relic, the Holy Chalice,
I think you mean the Holy Grail, Taylor?
the Christological cup.
The original Welch's, am I right?
Yep, that's definitely what he drank. So while you're in Rome, gorging yourself on pasta and seeing relics, you can stop by and head to. Oh, sorry, this one's not in Rome. I lied. We went to Spain first. We went to Spain.
Oh, it's in Spain. Oh,
This
good
one's
that's a good win for the
this one's in
Spaniards.
Spain. You can hop on a plane and head to Spain after looking at the Holy Cross.
Okay.
Um, and it's in Valencia, and
Mm.
I did not know this until I actually prepped this episode. I had no idea there was actual claims that we had the cup. I assumed it was lost, and I think upon reflection, I've realized that it was lost because I watched Monty Python.
So it's actually, very much found. So people know where it is.
Well, the
And it's in well,
claim,
supposedly, yeah,
yeah.
yeah. And this is the cup that Jesus drank from at the Last Supper?
Yeah, so,
This
essentially,
looks very ornate for what they'd be using.
yeah, so the ornation stuff is ornation a word?
Or Imma check that real quick.
Ornations? The fancy stuff. That was added on in medieval times. So they were
Okay.
like, "Hey, this is the cup Jesus drank from." And
So
they're
they
like,
dressed it up a little bit.
yeah, they were like, "Well, this is too plain looking."
So I'm not this is a heck of a cup, I'm not gonna lie, it looks great.
Yeah, so it like contains the original thing.
Okay.
So what's interesting is the original thing was apparently made between 200 BC and 100 AD. So the
Oh,
timeline kinda checks
that
out.
seems a little actually, no, that sounds good.
No, the
'Cause
timeline checks out entirely.
right, yeah, 'cause you don't want it to be when Jesus died, 'cause that's not when you make cups.
Right. Now, the problem with this is just like when we remember how we, had to look at our sources for what happened to the apostles?
Yes.
Like, the farther back or the farther forward you go in history, the more unlikely like, the less you can trust the claim. So
Mhm.
the first verifiable claim is in 1134,
Okay, okay.
which is
That's a long time.
kind of in the timeline we're in the Crusades right now, and also, like, the height of relic mania.
Yeah, that's like 10
Mhm.
years before the Second Crusade's gonna start.
Yeah. I just had a thought. So, because I was, I hearkened back to the Fate of the Apostles series, and it made me think
Mhm.
to remember how we had to like sift through a bunch of made up stuff about where the apostles went
Yeah.
because people wanted that claim of apostolic succession. Well,
Mhm.
I think after that became no longer tenable, now that I'm doing the timelines and piecing things together, it would seem like Relics started rising
Yeah,
very
that makes
rapidly
sense.
in fame.
Mhm.
So you
And
ca
that's probably when they were also like, "Oh, and this relic is here," or "We're gonna store it here," 'cause it's still kind of the geographic relevance,
yeah.
right? Yeah.
So it would make sense. The verified history on the cup is 1134.
Okay.
The There is supposedly a lost source that lists it, like, really early, like, I wanna say late 2nd century in, like, some, church's, like, possession list or something that gets
Mhm.
divided up, but that's we actually don't have that, they just claim that that exists.
Okay.
So, I don't think any of these relics are legitimate, but
Hmm.
yeah, I know. Where's the whimsy? But I don't know. This one's a tougher sell. There's a second cup that's where is that? It's in Rome. This one's in Rome. So while you're still
There's
in
one in
Italy,
Rome and one in Spain, that's
yeah, yeah, but the
crazy.
second cup is not nearly as it's not considered nearly as like valid. So
Oh,
the same
interesting.
guy, that Varangi guy, that Varangini we talked about,
Yeah.
he makes the claim that this they thought it was emerald and then it broke and then they realized it was glass, which is kinda sad. Uh,
Uh,
but it's like a weird little basin thing. Are you looking at it?
I'm trying. Yeah, I'm looking it up right now.
Yeah, the picture, that's a long shot that Jesus would have been drinking from that thing.
Oh, I see.
That's a
Okay.
long shot.
Pretty
Mhm.
anachronistic, I see.
Now, and what
Okay,
I
okay.
found, so there has supposedly been miracles associated with the green cup or the green basin.
Mhm.
I don't think there's any miracle legends associated with the Holy Grail, the main one,
Interesting.
which is interesting, isn't it?
It doesn't seem like there's, like, a consistent tracking method of being like, "We 100% affirm that this is the Holy Grail right here." Like, it'd be kinda weird to go to Rome and be like, "Well, that's sort of the Holy Grail, but the other one's in Spain."
Oh, I can easily speak on that. So
Sure.
we'll take a little pause before we go to our next relic is in Spain. So we're gonna stay in Spain on our trip here.
Okay.
Uh, but before we go to Spain, why is it that we can reliably track manuscripts of our Christian canon, but we cannot track these relics?
Is it 'cause they're not leaving good paper trails?
Because they didn't care to,
Okay.
because they don't matter.
But they did matter.
They
Maybe they
mattered they
just
mattered
they
in the 1100s, like,
right,
when everyone decided they
they
mattered.
mattered later, right.
Yes.
Like, the manuscripts have always mattered. Relics sorta matter. I mean, like you said, even at best, if Constantine's mom went back to Jerusalem to find the cross, this is still, what, 400 years after Jesus was crucified? Like, what are you gonna find 400 years later?
Well, so Constantine's mom is the reason that we have, I believe, the Church of the Holy Sepulchre.
That is true. Yes.
So she did some good stuff.
Gosh,
Like,
damn, this
like
lady's like an archaeologist. Freaking,
I
that's
know,
insane. Yeah.
but in the same way that people got weird about the apostles and started making up stories and legends,
Mm.
shout out to the lion that got baptized by Paul.
Shout out.
Shout out. He's still out there somewhere.
That's right. He's not dying. I know that for
Yeah,
sure.
yeah. They got weird with that. Fast forward, people got really weird with relics.
Mm-hmm.
I think if they had been weird about relics the whole time, we might be having a different podcast episode. If you're
Yeah.
looking at, you're like, I don't know, man. Ignatius mentioned this.
That would be a fun. I mean, maybe it's a non-factor. It would be an interesting, maybe like part 2 to do on this in a different month. Like, what did the early church think about relics? Or did they just not? And that's like the whole
I mean,
conversation. I don't know. That'd be interesting.
We've read enough. I mean, I think there's little things here and there, but they were more concerned with where they came from, right?
Sure.
So anyway, we're heading up to where is it? It's in Oviedo, Spain. All right. So
Okay.
we took a
All
tour
right.
bus up there, and we are going to look at the Shroud of Oviedo. Have you ever heard of this one?
No, I have not.
So it's like a small cloth that's bloodstained that was slowly or supposedly wrapped around Jesus's head.
Shroud of Oviedo.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So that one's kind of around 700 AD is what radiocarbon dating. So it's old. But essentially an anonymous pilgrim went into a cave in Jordan and came back and was like, look what I found, guys. This one is a lesser known one, but like I said, I tried to keep it like Christocentric relics. Long story short though, yeah, this one's old, but probably not legit, and it's in conflict with actually the Shroud of Turin, which we're gonna get to. So, there's not much to say on this one other than it kind of moved around a little bit, and you can thank the kind of early Muslim invasions for that. But it's been in Oviedo for like, 1,200 years almost. So that one's old. Okay, but now we're going to get on a plane, John, and we're going to go to France. Can you guess what we're going to see in France?
No.
We're going to see the Crown of Thorns.
Oh, and they took that during a crusade, didn't they?
Yep.
That's
they
right.
show did.
Okay. Interesting.
Definitely put a picture of this one up because it's super interesting. Because it's like this super ornate, decorated thing, and in the middle you can see like this very old plant.
Where in France is it? Is it in Notre Dame?
Yeah, so that's my fun fact about this one. It was in Notre Dame, and then there was a fire. When the fire started, they like went in and got it.
Wow, that's
okay.
that's
Me,
cool.
even me, if I was like working for Notre Dame, thought relics were just complete baloney, and that fire
and they were
started,
like, Taylor, it's on fire.
I would still risk my life and run in to like try to get that stupid crown out. Like,
dude, that's the most pro relic thing you've said all night.
Yeah, but isn't it weird that I'm like, as I'd be like leaving, coughing smoke, like maybe having permanent lung damage, I'm like,
you'd be a hero, Saint Taylor.
I would I would do it because I don't. It's like you said, like this matters to other people, and it's almost just like this little like, what if?
Right. Yeah. I don't want
to get to heaven and be like, oh, sorry, Lord, I didn't want to be inconvenienced.
He's like, wow, you really thought that it was cool for my crown to just burn up like that, huh? Would have thought that you would know I'm not a big fan of fire, Taylor.
I know. I know. So, this one is supposedly
This is
really old.
fascinating.
This one's
This looks
really
really
old.
interesting.
But
Yeah.
yeah, Louis the Ninth got this from Baldwin the Second.
Okay. Okay. Who I think we would have already covered then, because I
mm,
think Baldwin the Third was in
no, this happened in
the Last Crusade.
1239 is when this one left
Oh, this would be the Third
the
Crusade
Middle
then.
East. Yes.
Okay.
And I
Okay.
think he sold it to him.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
This
Who did he get
wasn't
it from? Who did Baldwin get it from?
No, Baldwin. I don't know. Baldwin took it probably.
Oh, I
But the
see.
point is it was
Okay.
still in Constantinople.
Okay.
So, and like after that, Louis the Ninth built the Sainte Chapelle, and it lived there until it went to the Notre Dame in 1804.
Mhm.
And then it left Notre Dame, was held at the Louvre for a period of 5 years. And this is very recent. December 2024, they had a whole thing and put it back in the Notre Dame.
That's super. Is Notre Dame, are they reopened after the fire now?
I think so.
I
I
think
feel
so
like I've seen
too.
some pictures.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, I just read Baldwin, facing heavy military expenses and severe debt, placed the sacred relic up as collateral. So he basically
He
did
basically
sell it
sold
because
it.
he was in big time debt. That's a
Mhm.
bummer, dude.
Dude, can you imagine? Imagine
They're
like
like
his grandpa's like, "You did what?" Yeah.
it's like, well, the good news is we should be out of financial hot water for a while. The bad news is
I
it cost
sold
me everything.
I sold the crown that was on Jesus'
I
head.
sold the crown of thorns.
Yeah. All right.
Oh,
I
man.
saved kind of the most. This is the one I think of actually when I think of relics. I saved it for last. The
Okay. Oh, there's
shroud.
one more.
Yeah, the Shroud of Turin.
Of course. Of course.
All right. So where's the Shroud of Turin located? So we were in
That's
Rome. We went to Spain, and then we went to France, and now where are we going?
I'd be baffled if it wasn't in Rome or like the Vatican.
Well, it's in Turin, Italy.
Where's Turin? Oh, that's in
Northern
Italy. Okay.
Italy.
Interesting. Yeah.
I didn't know that
Now,
until I thought Turin had meant some, Latin thing or something. Nope.
so the Shroud of Turin was the burial cloth that was wrapped around Jesus's body.
Yes,
Um,
supposedly.
and so people are kind of like, oh, well, if you, because when I looked up the image, it has all of these like negative photos that are basically trying to get an idea of what Jesus looked like based off of this composite.
Yes.
But you sounded a little skeptical just now.
Yeah, so it's like dated to medieval times. And
I see.
they basically, if they used a light paint, they could have done all this.
Mhm.
So this popped up in medieval times also. This wasn't like, around. This just goes back to say, why in the world would we not have church fathers mentioning these things?
Mhm.
And like have some sort of, and I know that's argument of absence, but yes, the Shroud of Turin is a neat artifact. I don't think it's real. I do not think we have. I don't think we have a whole lot on it. John Calvin actually, I mean, granted, he was like a big iconoclast. He was against it being real.
Oh, that's interesting.
Just
And he was,
purely from
yeah.
historical New Testament understanding of the burial practices of the Jews. They didn't wrap the
Mhm.
full body. And that's what's kind of funny is
Oh, that's pretty.
The Shroud of Oviedo is actually sort of like in contrast with the Shroud of Turin, right?
And the Shroud of Oviedo is just the head, right?
Yes, which is actually more in line with
Oh,
Jewish
so it's
burial
like they can't
practices.
both be legit,
Yeah,
right?
most likely, yeah.
Oh, that's why. Yeah, see, this is where the relic stuff, like, it doesn't feel centralized. It doesn't feel like there's one statement that says, this is it, this is not it. But to recognize both feels, it almost feels more of a historical, you know, historical fun fact than like, this is something deeply significant to our faith.
Well, Rome is smart about how they handle this stuff.
Sure.
They've never made the claim the Shroud of Turin is legitimate,
Yeah, that
but
makes a lot
they've
of sense.
also never said
Never
it's
said it's
not.
not. Correct, correct, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I think this really comes down to, as we land the plane, as we like to say, right?
Ah,
This is your captain
mhm.
speaking. Seats and tray tables in the upright position. Um, it comes down to like, how much does truth matter to you?
Mhm.
And I know for you, I know you like to joke. You're like, it doesn't, I just like to whimsy, but I know truth actually matters to you.
Of course.
Yes. And I don't really like framing ourselves within our historical context as just like, oh, well, we're just like empirically minded. Like we only care about data. And it's kind of like, well, no, I think people today care about truth a
Mhm.
lot. And now we live in an era where it's like really easy to find truth, which is really funny leading into what we're about to record. So here's our little plug for Friday's episode. We're dropping Chump Talk, talking about conspiracy theories
Right.
and the nature of truth and finding truth. So when it comes to these relics, it's just kind of like, if someone goes and looks at those pieces of wood and has an emotional experience, does that actually matter?
Right. That's such a Baptist thing to say, and I love it, I love it, I'm here for it. I I know I like to play up, I like to meme up with the whimsy stuff, and that's definitely true. I think where I stand officially is whenever something bears significance in that this is what many, many believers in the church of God have believed, have clung to, has borne significance for them. That doesn't mean it's true, but it does mean it's worth considering, right? At least it's worth bearing and offering like their historical, contextual, theological weight. Because my thing is, and the thing is, I am very critical of how much the modern post-scientific revolution world has shaped our understanding. Because, as good old conservative evangelicals, like, it wasn't a far cry from a plea to be more historically honest that led the mainline Christians from doubting every other thing that the scriptures had to say and making them
You
conclude that
are
Isaiah had 3
correct.
different authors. Yeah.
But like that's the thing, bro, is that we answered those claims with like data and arguments.
But the thing is, if you're an Episcopalian theologian versus a Baptist theologian, they're coming to different conclusions because they're giving different amount of stock to different scholars. And the Catholics do the same thing. They would say, and you can look this up, there are ways of testing if relics are valid or not that the church has used over the years. So they would say, oh yeah, we believe in testing these things, and they've all passed.
Okay, at the risk of sounding like a jerk, I'm gonna cap you on that one.
Sure.
I am not about to say Baptists are the only smart people. I'm not about to say that, but I am about to say there is an academic like process that has to happen. And
Mhm.
i- if your starting point is like, this is for the hyper liberals, the Episcopalian, their starting point is that like I don't even know like where their starting point is. It has nothing to do with like the authority of scripture.
They probably start by looking at the Bible like any secular historian would.
Right, except that's not even being genuine to the arguments that have been that are very strong. that are very strong. And that's getting into like whole apologetics. So like, I
Mhm.
don't think that the Episcopalians even operating in good faith, to be completely honest with you.
Sure.
And I don't think that Rome scholars doing any of these tests are operating in good faith either.
Mhm.
I think
But you do recognize the logical fallacy of assuming that only your people are acting in really good faith with integrity.
I'm sorry
Like,
that I believe I'm right. I'm
no,
sorry.
of course. I understand. Like, I'm not
Yeah.
saying you shouldn't. And here's the thing. If you put 3 options in front of me, the Catholic option, the
Right,
mainline
I
option,
hope
or the
you
Baptist option, you know which one I'm gonna
Right.
pick.
Don't
I'm
say
just
probably
saying
just say, like, probably see just, like, general Protestant. I don't know, because you can't say mainline anymore because half
I
of
would
them
say
are
evangelical,
yeah, evangelical,
because
yeah.
back in the 20th century, that was the big divide,
I'll just say
evangelical
this,
and
there's been
mainline.
so much work that has had to be done, and we're not even close to this in our, like, kind of going through church history. We're not even close to kind of what happens during the Enlightenment and with Schleiermacher
Mhm.
and basically the complete deconstruction of Christianity as a basically supernatural religion dies in the
It takes a
West.
hit. It takes a hit.
Yeah, and Schleiermacher comes along and is like, "Well, here's how we can have Jesus and also not look like morons." And
Mhm.
that's kind of the birth of liberalism.
Yeah, I think
Yeah,
so.
yeah,
Liberalism was born in Germany. I'd agree with that.
yeah, and, okay, look, we're so off topic.
We're off. We're off.
We're way off
Yes.
topic. Point is, when it comes to testing these things, I don't know, I'm welcome to be proven wrong, but, like, you either have the receipts or you don't.
Mhm.
Yeah, and they don't.
I get how you see that. I get how you
That's
see
such a nice way.
that.
That's Counselor John. That's good.
I respect that. I respect that stance. But
Yeah,
thank you guys. We've landed the plane. We're sitting on the runway and we're getting ready to grab our luggage.
that's right.
Thank you for riding along with us. We hope you enjoyed the peanuts and Biscoff cookies. And we'll see you back for Chump Talk
Yeah,
later this week.
We'll see you at Chump Talk. And
Yeah, make sure you brush up on your conspiracy theories.
let's remember, despite everything I just spent 5 minutes monologuing about, we want to be gracious to people that
I've been gracious.
we both,
Speak for yourself.
the
No,
both
no,
of
I'm
us
plenty
need to be
gracious.
gracious
No,
to people that find meaning in relics.
I'm doing a great job. Relics fans, drop me a heart sign in the comment section. Let me know you're riding with me, Team John. All right, thank you guys.
Bye.
We'll talk to you guys.
Bye-bye.